How's everybody doing? I'm back, episode 5. Please remain seated. I'm your host, Six Foot Cowboy. I'm going to run through a few things tonight. I won't keep you too long. It's been kind of a weird week, actually. We've got a lot going on that we'll go over. Much of it is national news, sports, things of that nature. I want to start, though, with a couple of local stories. Let me see if I can get myself tuned in a little bit better. So, I don't know if any of you heard about this, but we had the grandma that decided she didn't want the ticket for the broken tail light. This happened in the Oklahoma City area, small town of Cashin, Oklahoma. The lady was belligerent, unhappy about the policeman pulling her over. She became aggressive, tried to drive away. Eventually, the police officer had to chase her down the vehicle, use force to get her out of the vehicle, and eventually he had to tase her with his taser because she was kicking and resisting arrest so overtly, if you will. Now, the funny thing about this is, first of all, this crazy lady's got her whole tail. The whole damn back of her pickup is torn apart. I mean, it's basically falling off. It's much more than a broken tail light. And the second thing that I found funny about this is the amount of people who are my friends that are big Blue Lives Matter people, like I am. You know, they really think that we can't forget cops when we're thinking about everybody else's lives. But what's funny is I saw a lot of people saying, man, that cop went overboard. You know, he's got anger issues. And I never saw these people say those kind of comments when it was a black guy or something more typical like that. But this white granny seemed to bring out a, oh my gosh, he went too far response in some people that don't normally say that, which I found quite interesting and funny for that matter. So shout out to those of you that know you were posting about how out of line that cop was. I think you better look at him because he was well within his rights. But very funny. I mean, come on, lady. Get your ticket. Obey the law. Come on. All right, moving on. Next topic. I found myself with a hankering for pizza recently, and I love to try new places, so I wanted to try Danny B's Pizza in Edmond, Oklahoma, way out on Rockwell. This guy says he's open 11 to 9. Drive all the way over there and find out that he's closed because he closes to deliver pizza and then comes back. Such a frustrating business model. Come on, dude. Don't deliver if you're short-staffed. Good Lord. So I'm giving Danny B's the big thumbs down. Don't go over there. Danny B's Gourmet Pizza can get lost for all I care. I mean, have a decent business model, bro. That sucks. I'm sure it wasn't any good anyway. Probably did me a favor. So that's that for Danny B. Let's see. Today's August 11, 2019. Again, this is episode 5 of Please Remain Seated. And we're running through some good topics today. We had a UFC fight night last night that featured the Bullet, Valentina Shevchenko, against, and I'm drawing a blank on the lady she fought. It's the same lady that Ronda debuted against for the first ever women's UFC fight. And she's not really worth remembering her name. She shouldn't even showed up. It was a joke. She didn't even give the boy a fight. It was a real Yawn Fest. The best part of that card, folks, was when Platinum Mike Perry in the co-main event got his nose broken as bad as I've ever seen a nose broken. Oh my gosh. Google those images of Mike Perry's nose. He took a knee that was so violent, I just couldn't believe how gruesomely broken his nose was. I saw the great wrestler Jordan Burroughs tweeted after that fight and said, "Every time I get the itch to go in the octagon, I see something like this." So it may once again be quite a while before we see Jordan Burroughs make his MMA debut. But that was really about the most exciting thing I saw on that card. Again, the main event, Shevchenko just made a fool out of her opponent. We are really going through a thin talent pool in women's mixed martial arts, and I'm really worried about it. Actually, I think the women's division are in trouble right now because the pool is so thin. So let's hope it gets better. Moving on down, of course, everybody knows the Epstein story. Epstein committed suicide, and I'm doing quotes there, in his cell as he awaited trial. He was found deceased, I think, early Saturday morning, I want to say. And he was supposedly on suicide watch. But apparently suicide watch is a piece of jewelry, unbeknownst to many. It's not any type of care. It's actually a piece of jewelry that certain people get to wear. It's a suicide watch. I guess you wear it, and if the time is off, then it feels really bad about itself, and it doesn't work again. So there you go. Suicide watch is jewelry, apparently. Anyway, Epstein had dirt on the Clintons, supposedly, dirt on lots of politicians and other prominent figures, attorneys, different things. Of course, none of that's going to come to light now, so that's that. You know, a while back, Joe Rogan recommended, see my hat, the Joe Rogan Experience, greatest podcast on the planet. I don't miss it. You know, Joe Rogan recommended a book called The Strange Death of Vincent Foster. And I tell you what, that was the first time I really thought that maybe the Clintons were some sort of mafiosos. I mean, killing people. But once you go down that rabbit hole, you'd be surprised how many people have been found dead that were messing with them or looking into them. So the Clintons are really, really making their own choices out there, if you know what I mean. Into them dark arts, as my guy Theo Vaughn would say. Wow, check it out. I'm currently reading, at the recommendation of my mom, 3-book series by Victor Thorne that looks into the Clintons. Book 1 is called The Sex Book, 2 is Drugs, and I think 3 is Politics or something. And I'm just a little ways in the first book, but my goodness, this is to hit the ground running. And of course, the author has been found dead. He was found dead in a hotel room as well. So, I mean, this stuff is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, there we go. Epstein. I'm sure what can be uncovered still will, but he won't be seeing trial now. If we can hop back into MMA, Colby Covington appeared on Misha Tate's podcast this week, and they had a heated exchange. And Colby had some choice words for Misha, and they weren't nice, and I've heard that he is now banned from being on that podcast. Here's my problem with that, folks. You get Colby Covington on your podcast, you know what you're getting. You know what you're freaking getting. Don't invite Colby Chaos Covington to your podcast and think it's going to go a certain way. Colby is Chael Sonnen, Conor McGregor style. He's going to get on that mic, and he's going to make people uncomfortable, and he's going to sell fights. He shouldn't have been banned. It's ridiculous. Misha's got to give it. It's good. Got to take it as well as she can give it. In my opinion, ridiculous. Banning Colby Covington like that. What else going on in the fight game? We've got UFC 241 coming up. I'm excited about that. The main event will feature Daniel D.C. Cormier, the heavyweight champion of the UFC, against Stipe Miocic, the former heavyweight champion. Loved this fight. Loved it the first time, and I'm going to love it this time. I look for DC to win again in dominant fashion and probably send my guy Stipe into a tailspin because I don't know how well he's going to handle this loss. But put your money on DC. There's no way Stipe is going to beat him. So put your money on DC. I bet he's a minus 400. So it's not going to be a moneymaker. But put your money on DC if you want to win that for sure. Had a tough week of my day job. Had to make some tough calls. But I made the tough calls. I believe that the right choice is the right choice. And we shouldn't get caught up in factors that don't matter. We have to do what's right. And this week I got a few chances to do what's right. And shout out to all those that I counsel with leading up to those decisions. I'm glad that I was raised with a sense of morality and a sense of doing what's right. Because it's so seldom done these days, it seems. You know, I just thought of if I ever made a documentary about the Clintons, if I was an investigative journalist, I think I would call it the Clinton Red Tornado. And that's for my Oklahoma listeners. We have a mascot in Clinton, Oklahoma called the Red Tornado. And I think that would make a terrific title for a book about the dark arts of the Clinton family. You know, I've heard also that Chelsea is a big problem, and she's screwing things up at the foundation and really causing lots of problems. And basically, she's a spoiled brat, apparently. And this is all difficult for me to swallow, folks, because I used to be a conservative Democrat, and a big supporter of Bill because I like Southern Democrats. And Bill was he was my favorite president. But a combination of the way the party has shifted left, the Democrats have actually abandoned me because I've stayed where I've always been politically, and they have moved to the far left. And then when you factor in all this shady business with the Clintons, it has really reframed them in my mind. And it makes me a little bit sad, honestly. A little bit sad, because they were my first presidential family when I was old enough to vote. So I'm a little bit sad that it's going the way it is. But they appear to be very, very dirty. And I will continue to do my research. I just hope I don't end up in a wheelchair for looking into them. That's a joke, folks. Because guess what? I'm already in a freaking wheelchair already. In case you didn't notice. This isn't some kind of deluxe office chair I'm in. This is a Permobil M5. Permobil Michael 5. The best mid-wheel drive power chair in the world. Right here. And I love it. I love it. So, preseason football is in full swing. I got to see my Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, start off against the San Francisco 49ers. You know, preseason football is about evaluating players, not winning and losing, but I do want to mention the score was San Francisco 17, my Dallas Cowboys 9. So we did not get the win, but we did get to evaluate a lot of players, and I was happy with what I saw from the running game. Even though Zeke wasn't there, I was happy with the 8 plays Dak Prescott played at quarterback. I was not happy to see the injury by new linebacker Luke Gifford out of Nebraska, who I want to see big things from. I believe he had some type of serious ankle injury, as he could not put any weight on the ankle as he left the field. So I'm very concerned about that. But I hope he will recover and go into a good career with us. Rod Marinelli is still our defensive coordinator, although Chris Richard continues to have an expanded role as our defense evolves and looks more and more like the Seattle Seahawks defense of the last decade, which I think will be all right. At least I hope so. So the Cowboys are off to a nice start, even though they did not win that. You know, this morning I saw a clip of the great Dr. Jordan Peterson, who said he was on talk show, I believe, in Canada, and he was put on the spot by a panel and by a person in the stands about why do you always talk about individual responsibility when all these global problems are going about. And once again, Dr. Peterson showed why he is just one of the great intellectuals of our time, as he continued to espouse that until you get your own house in order, you really can't solve the world's problems. And you know, the Democrats, currently, that's what they're doing. They're playing on young people, millennials, messianic tendencies. We all have them at that age. We all have them, that we want to save the world. And the Democrats are hoping to bribe that youth until the next election to get Trump out of there. Of course, they have no shot. They have no shot, folks. We all know why Trump does not wear eyeglasses, because he's already got 2020. He's got it, folks. 2020 is over. Go to the polls if you want to. Trump's locked it up. That Democratic field is the world's laughing stock, and they have no shot to win. So Trump is definitely going to be our president for 4 more years. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Let's see what else is going on. My favorite comic, many of you know I'm a comic guy. Love superheroes. Love adventure comics, Western comics. I'm a comic guy. And my favorite comic is Preacher, off of the DC Vertigo line. You've heard me talk about it before. Well, it's got a TV version on AMC. Keep in mind it's very adult-oriented. Season 4, the final season, is in full swing on AMC. So check out Preacher. It's part Western, part horror, part sci-fi. Great stuff. Great stuff. Check it out on AMC. Preacher, Season 4, the final season. Or check out the original materials from the 90s in the comics. Alright? Good stuff. As we talk about this presidential race, I've already said that Trump's going to win easily, and he is. But my only thought now is, when will that dork, Beto O'Rourke, drop out of the race? I mean, this guy, have you ever thought about how much he looks like Butthead from Beavis and Butthead? And I kind of feel bad because I like Butthead, and I think comparing him to Beto is an insult to Butthead. But look at both of them and tell me they don't look alike. Beto the Butthead. When is he going to drop out? This guy's a joke. He went on TV and went out of his way to use the tragic deaths of those in El Paso to boost his political ratings, which I thought was pretty dang sick. This guy needs to drop out. Or heck, he needs to win it because he's entertaining. He entertains me. So if he wants to win it, that's fine. But he's a joke. He is an absolute joke. Let's see. After the UFC 241, we'll have UFC 242 in Abu Dhabi, with the main event of the 155 championship will feature the champion Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Dustin the Diamond Poirier, and I'm looking forward to the diamond point off the upset, even though I don't think he can do it. I'm going to be really pulling for him. Plus, he's a friend of my buddy Theo Vaughn. By the way, my favorite comedian is Theo Vaughn. Make sure you catch him on This Past Weekend, his podcast, and his other podcast, King of the Sting. Best comedy I've seen in years. And I don't miss it. I don't miss it. So, I'm very excited to see Khabib represent Louisiana, represent America, and try to do what nobody's been able to do, and that is beat Khabib Nurmagomedov. I also want to recommend that you go on to ESPN and subscribe to ESPN Plus. They have lots of good content. I went on there recently and watched the new show Details with Daniel Cormier, in which he broke down the fighting style of Conor McGregor. Great detail. Really enjoyed that show. Really enjoyed DC's ability to break down the concepts and the fighting style of McGregor. And really neat. I look forward to him having more episodes and getting more into that because it was really good. Really good. I just started watching also a little bit of the YouTuber Colin Noor, I believe, the gun activist. And I want to leave you with a quote that he said as he was advocating for the Second Amendment, in which he said, "It doesn't matter how many gun laws we write, evil is illiterate." Wow, that struck home with me. Evil is illiterate. They're not going to read them. We don't have a gun problem. We have a character and morality problem. And that's it, folks. That's it. We can't let people, and I mean politicians, take away guns. You don't take guns away from people that are getting shot at. You understand that? You don't take guns away from people that are being shot at. We have to bring back character. We have to bring back people being raised right. And we have to address the problems that are plaguing our country instead of blaming an object. It is ridiculous. I read a report today that said knives kill more people in America than guns, and it's not even close. I didn't know that. I figured it'd be guns. So there you go. There you go. I'm a true journalist, and it makes me so sad to know that the media is not what they used to be. The media is not out there doing what's right and giving us the news from a centrist perspective. Every news is slanted, and it's so frustrating. But we don't have a gun problem. We have a soul problem. People have got to find their character again, because that's really what makes America great. It really is. So get out there this week. Have a great week. Do your best. And remember, you're on the right path. Bob's your uncle. Do you guys know what that means? That's what my English friends tell me. Bob's your uncle. It means you're going to get there. You're on the right path. So I'll just leave you with that. Have a great week. And remember, Bob's your uncle. Hit me up, 6-Well Cowboy, on all social media platforms. And I hope you join me next week. Have a good one.